Let's talk about relationships. You know what? I'm going to do something crazy and I'm going to share two stories with you. One about the typical soulmate relationship. I'll just share it all. This will be a really long thing. So, um the soulmate relationship, what that is, what it looks like, how you know if you're in it, how you know who your soulmate is. Um then we could go with uh, what some people might think is a twin flame, also could be a possible soulmate relationship. Then we can go with life partner. So these are all very different relationships and will cause you to feel very different things. Um, and so I'll go through each of them so you know and share my experience so that you can learn from it. All right, so we'll start with number one, the soulmate relationship. Now, I have always been very aware of my feelings, very open, very psychic, as you all know. So when it comes to feeling emotions, I've always been very sensitive. And if I'm attracted to someone, even non-romantically, just as a friend, I will know who my friends are before I even ever talk to them. Like, I pulled up to high school. I was in a new place. I didn't know anyone except for my neighbors. And I saw two people standing outside of the high school on my orientation day. I'd never met them before, never even seen them. And I said, oh, those are going to be my friends. And of course, I still see them now. Like, oh my God, 16, 17 years later or something. Um, and so I met this guy in high school and totally just become obsessed with this guy. Like, he could walk on water, he could not do any wrong. And the funny thing is he did a lot of things that I didn't do. Like, he did drugs, I didn't do drugs. Well, the hard stuff anyway. And he just wasn't really anything like me at all. Um, and it turns out after years of like stalking him, basically, I knew we were going to be married. I knew he would be my first sexual partner. I knew that we would be together, and I knew that he was meant for me. Like, it was that easy, and he knew it too. And so we played this dance of sort of like courting each other all throughout high school, but we both were with other people, so we never got together then. He actually invited me to his prom, even though he had a girlfriend. That's how crazy it was. But like I said, it was never anything other than just a casual friendship. We never even really spent time together in high school. And then I left high school in my junior year and finished with my GED. Different story. It was just empathy, crazy, psychic stuff. Couldn't handle it. But anyway, actually ended up getting together with this man, blah, 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 got married. But it turned out that he was also really psychic. He also could understand what I was going through in my big psychic explosion. And it was actually, it was really helpful. He was the only person that understood me, knew what I was going through, and I was trying. I was looking, even looked for adult mentors who couldn't relate. They just didn't know. Over the years, I found out that this guy, my ex-husband, we communicated with the same angel group. It was apparent. There was a definite deep connection. We'd been through a million lifetimes together, here and not on Earth. And it was the strongest love feeling I've ever had. And I actually had visions of us twirling as souls, just our energy twirling around. And it was remarkable, and our earthly, my personality, his personality, relationship was really amazing for a few years. But as it turns out, because he was my soulmate relationship in this lifetime, as he's been millions of times before, there were some problems. And this is on purpose. We made this contract before this lifetime. And even though I still had to go through the shit, like I did, I still would have done it no differently, knowing what I know now. Because I wouldn't be me if I didn't go through that. And if he hadn't agreed to treat me so badly, I wouldn't have grown and turned into the person that I am now, which I'm very happy about. So it was rough, though. I went into the relationship very insecure, very young. I couldn't even tell you how I was back then. I wouldn't really talk to anyone. I was a broken soul after my explosion happened. My psychic explosion happened in my teen years. And he was like my lifeline. I really grabbed onto him. And the feeling that I had being with him in those beginning years was like I was walking on a cloud. The love that I was able to experience in myself catapulted me up into amazing things. And so after that, we had a very hard time. He didn't want to work. I didn't really know how to be a wife. I didn't know how to be an adult yet, even though we lived on our own in a great couple of houses, actually cottages, really. But it never worked. It never felt like a real marriage. It wasn't really a real marriage, and he ended up cheating on me for several years, I believe, at least several years. And I didn't even know until after I left him. It was just so bad. We were just like roommates for the last few years. And that is a soulmate relationship. That is a typical soulmate relationship. And it's just, you have to learn from each other. That's what it's all about. Soulmate relationship is about learning from each other. And the shit will hit the fan. Everything will go wrong. But you'll still have the connection. We never lost the connection. I mean, I don't speak to him anymore. And when he does speak to me, it's always like a negative thing, so I don't respond. But I am looking forward to the day when we are no longer incarnated so that we can go back to normal. Because I know that we'll still be friends. We will still love each other. And everything will be fine. And that will be a good day because this has been rough. It's been really hard in this lifetime. And honestly, on a soul level, I have to thank him for agreeing to be that person in my life. So whoever is treating you like crap, whoever is abusing you and sending you through the ringer right now, you don't have to necessarily thank them on a personal level for what they're doing, though you can, and you'll feel better. On a soul level, know that they are doing that for you, and you asked them to do it so that you could grow. And I know that's hard to swallow a lot of the times, but everything that happens to us, we are orchestrating, we are agreeing to. Our higher selves are in full awareness of everything that's going on, of who that soul is that is playing that part in your life. And nothing happens to you without agreement. So, as hard as that can be to swallow sometimes, it's the truth. And knowing that they're doing it out of love for us will make it easier to swallow, I think. At least for me. All the negative message I get from him, I can just laugh at because it's true, He's doing it for me, which is how I look at it. And, yeah. But I still changed my name. So on a personal level, I have to keep my boundaries. I have to keep myself safe in love and honor myself. But on a soul level, I know that it's all just a game and he's doing me a favor. And so thanks for that one there. But after him, or really sort of during him, I experienced a much deeper level of connection, a different level of connection with someone else. And it was more from a soul level. I was more like channeling this past connection with this person because he was unavailable. I was unavailable. Nothing ever happened on this plane except for some artistic stuff. But not even any conscious awareness on the part of the other person. The other person was an artist and very, connected to downloading stuff. Artists channel things, especially writers, painters, that kind of stuff. It comes through them, the art, and it comes through them via their soul. And so I was really connecting with that person's soul, feeling their essence, and remembering our lifetimes together. But it still had the same effect on me as if that person were aware. I still had those feelings of love and really yearning for the past and that connection to be real again, because I was in such a crappy place at the time, and I wanted those positive feelings in my body. And so we had this connection through our art, which was really quite beautiful, until it had served its purpose in reinstating those feelings in my body, being, putting me back to life again. And then it was time to move on. And of course, nothing was to happen on this physical plane, because that would have been inappropriate. And so it wasn't. A lot of people could call that a twin flame. They could call it another soulmate relationship, though. It wasn't quite a soulmate relationship. We were not primary partners together in many lifetimes. And so I don't consider it that. Twin flame is really just, I call it that just because of the level of connection and deep emotional feeling that it had, and the, magnitude of the lifetimes we shared. We were both galaxies swirling around together. We created worlds and lives and, galaxies. It was really amazing. We were creators together, which is why on this time, we connected as creators together. We shared art, and it was intense. Took over my life for a while, and very obsessive, just like the soulmate relationship. And it feels so real because it was and is real. It's just not appropriate for this lifetime. I think that's what a lot of people have to understand, is even though you can love someone, truly, purely love someone, doesn't mean that you're supposed to be together now. And that was a hard one to swallow, for me, at least, because I feel so deeply about things, and I feel such a connection to people. Knowing when you're supposed to be with someone now or not is a really good thing to develop. It can save you a lot of trouble and time and heartache. Though, of course, that relationship, well, in my mind, got me through a lot of things and opened me up again in new ways. And so obviously I don't regret anything. But, and a lot of great stuff was created, and it entertained a lot of people, at least. So just know that the connection that you feel to someone, you can be strongly attracted to someone simply on the basis that you've had lives together in the past. It doesn't mean you're supposed to be together now. So if you're attracted to people, and you wonder why you are, it's probably because you shared a life together. So that's always helpful to know. The last type of relationship I want to talk about is a life partner. And that's a different kind of contract where you two have really learned a lot in the past. You don't need to go through a big tumultuous thing anymore. You just want to have someone to share life with, or a period of time with, that's easy and fun and amazing and mutually supportive. And luckily, I found one. So I'm very happy about that now. And doesn't mean you have to get married. It just means that you are on the same page, you love each other, you support each other, and it's just a healthy sort of relationship. It's not so up and down as a soulmate relationship. You don't have a major thing to learn. It's more just you appreciate each other, and you can be in that appreciation mode with each other instead of having to be in always learning combative mode. And it's a really wonderful thing. So it may not be as intense as a soulmate or twin flame, whatever you want to call it, relationship. But it will be more enjoyable and easy and wonderful and loving, and supportive. So, and just as passionate, it doesn't have to be less passionate, just less volatile, maybe less intense. And so I would highly recommend, obviously you have to go through everything. You set this up before you came to Earth. You have your major relationships set up already for you. But if you can find a life partner, be okay with the ease of it. Be okay with that. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you or the other person. And frankly, I don't have, I mean, major things in common with this other person either. We're very different people. We're almost opposite people. You know, we come together with our nerdiness, but that's about it, really. When it comes to personality, we're pretty opposite, and, you know, we're both pretty low-key. But anyway, you may not look like this person. You may not think that this person is really who you're supposed to be with, but it'll work out fine. So just go with the flow. Go with your feelings. See what happens. I honestly, this person came into my life, and I was resisting the relationship, but I couldn't fight it anymore because my soul was just so happy. My angels were like, yes, 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 go for it. And so sometimes we are our worst enemy and the worst judge of who we should be with. So go with your higher self, figure it out, ask your angels, and they will never steer you wrong, because they are in communication with the highest aspects of you, and they know your soul contracts. So this was a very long video, but I really wanted you to get the essence of these different types of relationships, what they could look like, what they feel like, what their purpose is, because it can be really confusing. And my other key is that relationship structures are changing. And so if you have ideas of how you want your relationship to be, if you want to have an open relationship, or if you want to be with a woman for the first time or a man for the first time, let yourself explore, because there's nothing wrong with that. If you're already in a relationship and you want to explore, talk to your partner. Be open, be honest. You can do it. I know you can. It's scary, yes, but the truth is always the best. Always honor yourself first, or you're dishonoring the other person, frankly. You know, that person is with you, hopefully because of the real you. So to not share the real you with the other person is dishonoring them too. So keep that in mind. Be honest, go where your heart tells you to go, and feel free to experiment. It's really okay. All right. Lots of love. Let me know if you have any comments or questions. Bye-bye. Please feel free to share this video with anyone you think might be interested. And if you're not already on the list, go over to psychiclife.tv and get yourself on there. You'll get more readings, videos, and blog posts.